I think one should always be left wanting more, and I think that conversation definitely left us all wanting more. But the next one, which is going to focus slightly differently, will be fascinating too. Quantum and AI parallel workings. By the way, I came up with these titles just because they sounded good. So I love the fact that John thought I spent ages thinking about correlation and causation. I mean, I just like the alliteration. Anyway, we've now got Elitsa Kioseva from NVIDIA, and we've got Malak Trabelsi-Loeb from the Quantum Innovation Summit. Please come up.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for staying here at this time, and thank you for having us, Karina. I just wanted to say to Karina, what you've done is amazing, and thank you for all what you do to the quantum ecosystem, and your capacity to bring people together from all over the world to share your vision with you. And thank you again. So, today, when my son actually knew that I will be moderating a fireside chat with a lady from NVIDIA, he was like, wow, I'm going to speak to her about gaming. And that was, it was, no, Adam, it's not about gaming, it's about AI and quantum. Actually, NVIDIA, they are working on quantum technologies. And I'm like, yes, they are. So I'm thrilled to have with me Elitsa Kioseva, Director of Quantum Algorithms at NVIDIA, a global leader in AI. So we know that NVIDIA is driving the AI revolution right now. So we would say thank you for being here, and please help us unpack. We know what's happening with the AI ecosystem and what NVIDIA is doing and leading the industry. So we will have some questions to know how this have to do with the quantum and AI parallel working, which I don't understand still, the title, Karina, but it's we'll get there, and we will unpack this this discussion. So can you please present yourself?
Thanks a lot, Malak, and thank you, Karina, for the invitation. Indeed, a global conference. I came from Boston. You came from
all the way from Dubai.
And here we are today in London. It's a pleasure to be here, and I love to tell you about NVIDIA's role in the quantum computing revolution. Indeed, I have had already questions about the gaming and quantum games at NVIDIA. And this is a very tough question for me because I'm not a gamer, so I don't know gaming. But I know quantum computing, and that's my background. I studied physics, and I come from the academia point of view. For the last 4 years, I was working on quantum algorithms and applications, in particular to the healthcare space. And now at NVIDIA, leading the quantum algorithm developers, we are actually working across all industries. So health, banking, and everyone else.
Thank you.
And to answer the question about NVIDIA and quantum and how do they intersect, it's actually really useful to briefly say the background of NVIDIA. And NVIDIA makes these chips, they're called GPU, right? Which stands for Graphics Processing Unit. And when they were invented, the first recognized application of the GPU was in graphics processing. And this is what gave its name. But a few years after that, so this was over 25 years ago, but a few years after that, it was actually recognized that GPUs have a lot of applications also in scientific computing. And people started using GPUs for scientific computing. And this really was an inflection point for scientific computing. And NVIDIA's GPUs enabled a revolution in that computing space. Several years after that, it was recognized that GPUs are very good for deep learning architectures. And similarly, a few years after came the AI revolution. And now we all know NVIDIA, but actually NVIDIA provided the GPUs to OpenAI several years back when OpenAI was a very small startup that people weren't aware of. But this really helped the whole community understand that GPUs are instrumental to AI. So what happened was NVIDIA enabled the AI revolution. So when we look forward to the future, the next computing revolution will be in quantum computing. So what we are doing is we are going to enable the quantum computing revolution, again with our core technology, which is the GPU.
That will lead to my next question, and seeing the excitements related or around quantum technologies or quantum computing today, how do you see NVIDIA's role in this development and how it will drive the industry further?
Initially, quantum computers were thought of as these kind of independent systems. And it wasn't really recognized by the community that the tight integration between classical supercomputing and quantum computing is actually necessary. Now more and more it's becoming clear. We hear so much more recognition about AI and what AI can actually do for research and development in quantum computing. So the way we see it is that the future useful quantum computer will be an integrated quantum computer, or a QPU, as we call it, integrated with a classical AI supercomputer. The classical AI supercomputer will be used for generating, let's say, to some extent, the algorithms, for doing part of the workflow, because there will always be part of the job that will be done on a classical device, while only the hardest part of the problem will be solved on a quantum device. We will need also classical AI for error correction and for running this real-time error correction and decoding. So it is really instrumental to have AI supercomputer with a quantum computer, and the quantum computer will be sort of an accelerator. It will be used only for particular, very specialized workloads.
It's amazing, and actually, always we talk about AI and quantum computing with like a relation, correlation, and actually I would say enablers. AI will enable quantum computing and vice versa. So there is a symbiosis between both of them. Can you explain how you see this symbiosis and where it's going to take us, and if it's possible to know the roadmap to go there?
So from our point of view, AI is already materialized, let's say. So we are much more believers in AI enabling quantum computing. And this is where we are focused. So we are working with software providers, with end users, academia as well. We are also working with hardware providers, so people that actually build quantum computers. And we help them use our classical AI tools to actually build better hardware with less noise, etc., do error correction, error mitigation, etc. So we really feel that the tight integration, and there is no competition here, so it's not like classical computing versus quantum computing, but it's in fact working together to solve these really hard computational challenges.
Actually, I'm going out of the script a little bit in order to improvise. I hate reading, so I like to improvise. And it will be within the scope of what we agree to speak about. So there's one question is very, very important, which is the use cases. And this is one of the most important challenges that I've seen building the quantum, let's say, industry-driven in the region, in the MENA region, which is the Middle East and North Africa. And one of the most important part is the adoption of this technology and to moving beyond the use cases, because mere use cases will not build an economy. And the most important part in order to have this technology adopted and is the understanding of the technology, what it does, and actually the leaders like NVIDIA input in order to drive further and to go beyond the use case trials and to have these technologies or softwares, as you are working on softwares and algorithms, are adopted by the industry. And here I don't speak about the quantum industry, but I speak about finance, healthcare, aerospace, and so forth. Can you tell us from NVIDIA perspective, how do you see this applicable?
I think when you open the possibility of people to use new technology, so it was the same for the GPUs and also AI and scientific computing. So as we make programming quantum computers more and more familiar to what people are already used to using in their workloads, this is going to become natural. So I always have this kind of an answer that is short-term and long-term. How do we go from use cases to practical applications in industry? So I think in the short-term, industry does need to have a small specialized team that is working in-house on algorithms, that is very well aware with these particular companies' use cases, because there is a lot of specialized know-how, and it is really hard to acquire it if you don't have an in-house team. But ultimately, long-term, and I think this is the goal of the whole community, is to not need this kind of expertise in-house, and everyone to be able to use quantum computing solutions as part of their normal programs or normal things that they are used to, normal computing solutions. And this is the goal of everyone. So we want to make quantum computing much more accessible to industry.
So accessibility is one of the main targets and what you are working toward having and offering. The other question is beyond accessibility, how about the way how you see the next revolution that AI will drive? So speaking about AI now on its own, how do you see the next step of NVIDIA when it comes to AI?
We are very much focused on continuing on the path that we have taken so far, and that has proven to be the, the successful one. We are still staying very agnostic, and everything we do is more or less open source, which is amazing. And our core expertise are actually in the devices, in the GPUs. So we are very much focused on going the same way like we have done until now.
Will it be the same for quantum?
For quantum, yeah. I mean, it's still, everything we do is open source. We collaborate freely with industry, with academia. We try to publish all of our papers. So we want to really spread the acknowledgement and the understanding that classical AI supercomputing is instrumental for quantum computing. So because of that, everything we do is out there, and we collaborate very openly with everyone.
If you want to close this session from your side before I turn to any question from the audience, what do you like to say?
I would like to repeat something I already said. I would like the people to live with the understanding that that classical computing and quantum computing are not competitors, and that there are many, many useful ways in which we can use AI supercomputing to enable the quantum computing revolution.
Perfect. Any question? Yes, please.
Thank you for that. I'm curious, does your organization follow ethical or responsible principles in terms of when you focus on your development, which is you mostly mentioned is open source? So, for example, there are almost 1 million models on Hugging Face. So how do people feel reassured that they're utilizing something that is built ethically and takes into account the greater public good?
So I'm not at all an expert on that part of the company, but NVIDIA is a private company that is traded on the stock market. So we for sure fulfill all the requirements on ethical and sustainable development.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? Yes, please.
Hi, Tim Gosha from Dolma Fund Management. Just asking you to dive into a healthcare use case. Could you just look into the future and tell us how both AI and quantum could get us closer to personalized genetic medicine?
The future is really, this is my favorite use case, and in fact vertical, let's say, the healthcare space, because there we have the typical problems that are very hard for classical computing, which is in the realm of simulating quantum systems, and in that case the quantum system is the small drug, which is a molecule, so it's a quantum system basically. So the simulation of that molecule is actually really hard classically. Of course, we shouldn't forget that there are many very, very good classical approximations that work very well for the majority of these molecules. So we need to be very careful when we select the use case, even in the healthcare space, to make sure that we are not solving something on quantum computers that is well solvable on classical devices. But once we are smart enough and we have done our homework to compare, then yes, of course, quantum computers and having this ability to shorten the development time of pharmaceuticals, maybe ideally even not have clinical trials. This will be amazing if everything is done in silico and everything is done computationally to measure all of the effects of the drugs and how would they be, what will be their influence on the body, then this will enable the development of new drugs that are also that are opening, let's say, markets which are currently not satisfied, like also rare diseases.
Actually, you just touched upon one of the issues that we have, which is like, what are the problems or hard problems that could be solved by quantum computing that they're not prone to be solved by conventional computers? And this one of the questions that we have in the community, actually, what are the hard problems to be solved? And how I will end up by this question, coming back to the point, how do you select these hard problems?
So you need to compare the computational complexity of the problems and basically the algorithm. So on the classical algorithm and also on the quantum one. And the best case scenario is really to go for the ones that in the quantum realm would give you exponential advantage. Because it's not just the complexity that matters, there are also other factors that matter. So to be certain that you are using the right hardware for this problem, it's really good to focus on these kind of exponentially hard problems. One of them is Shor's factoring algorithm, which I know people are aware of its applications to security. Another one is simulating also quantum systems, which has a lot of applications in chemistry.
Thank you so much. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to Elitsa during the break. Thank you for having us, and I hope to see you next year. Actually, yeah, I introduced myself. It's a little bit late. Actually, I'm Malak Trabusilab, as you see in the brochures. My background is law and economics, and I practice international business law, space law, and tech law, and all what is related to technology transfer and the dual use and all the shenanigan related to that. And actually, I'm a NATO subject matter expert also. And live in Dubai, been driving the quantum ecosystem in UAE since 2020. And yeah, if you want to know more about what we are doing, just don't hesitate to speak to me outside and reach out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to add from Malak that she actually organizes an amazing conference in Dubai and called the Quantum Innovation Summit. And you can look it up, and I hope to see you all there, because, you know, who wants to be in London in February? Wouldn't you rather be in Dubai? But thank you, everybody, for coming. We've now got the Deputy Head of the NATO Innovation Unit, who's going to give us a talk over drinks, but I think we have to have a few drinks first before we really listen to him. Thank you.